Thank you for joining us for a historic recipe for social change, a creative celebration of our right to vote over the time-honored tradition of cooking. This three-part series will feature comfort foods with three generations of African American women cooking traditional recipes and discussing how to vote safely, the issues that are important to them, and how they believe their voice and actions will create social change. Thank you for joining us for this episode, which will feature oven fried wings, mock chicken wings, down home potato salad, pinto beans, and cornbread. Let's get cooking. Welcome to Historic Recipe for Social Change. We are ready to get started with our entree of today of chicken. And so Aunt Vi is going to show us a new way to do chicken in the oven. And so, Aunt Vi, share with everyone your recipe and some background on how you like to prepare chicken.
I like to prepare chicken if you have these available with your gloves, because chickens are very delicate kind of meat that can cause all kind of bacteria if you're not careful. So if you can, put your gloves on. Because if you don't have gloves, do what I'm doing, then wash your hand as soon as possible. Okay. Now, my famous baked fried chicken. Diabetics, and this is real good for people who want to lose weight, because you'll allow the chicken to fry in its own fat. Now, I have this seasoning. It has your, you can use your own special seasoning, salt, with your different seasons in it. And you're going to say, oh, she's putting a lot of this in here. Yeah, because I'm going to mix it up.
And it's all about flavor, right?
All about flavor. Then you put your pepper in it. Okay.
Smell the aroma here.
Yeah, I don't want to sneeze. Garlic. You can never go wrong with garlic.
I think that's everybody's secret ingredient.
Some people, it's not too much. Then I use cayenne pepper.
Mm-hmm. You know we like that heat.
And when you're having chicken, you like a little kick in it. Yes. Oh, you say, oh, look all this stuff she's put in it. But you're going to see what I'm doing next. Now, this is people who, it's kind of like Joanna. She likes it spicy. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of kick in it. Now, with your gloves, if you don't have gloves, wash your hands as soon as possible. Okay. Mix it up real good. Just act like you're on a playground or something, having fun with the kids, and you mixing the seasoning up with this, and we have a little juice in here. And you can kind of act like this is marinating it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Then, I might need a little bit. Now, if you see me,
I can help. What would you like me to put in for you?
If you give me the seasoning salt,
I can sprinkle it for you.
Thank you. Then I won't have to use my hand.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind assisting.
Okay.
There you go.
Now, this is great. Good? And I think, okay.
You want some black pepper?
Yeah, a little bit more black pepper. You can do this
I like
a lot
to crank
better.
it.
Crank it up, girlfriend. Crank it up.
There you go. And I love the sound of that peppercorn falling.
Now, some people have problem with pepper.
But it's not too spicy.
95% of us don't have a problem with pepper.
And with this recipe, you can always leave it out if you don't like black pepper, right?
Now, Joanna, since I have my gloves on, spray the pan for me.
I can do that. I'm going to
use
walk around her.
A small amount of spray just to coat the bowl. Now, if you have those, the one that you stick, non-stick, contain pans or whatever, you don't have to spray. But I like to coat it just a little bit, because although it's going to fry it in its own fat and grease, don't say the word fat. Let's say in its own grease.
Okay.
You talking about something delicious and crispy. Oh man. You can say, nah, I can't believe it. But here's the secret. You got to have your oven on at least 475 to 500.
Okay, so why is that so important?
It's very important. If you go under 475, you are baking your chicken.
Okay.
You're not. You want this thing to get so hot that it will fry itself.
Okay.
And let's see if I can get a little bit
think
more
you can.
space. Now, I think we had some paprika.
We did.
I love paprika.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to take my gloves off now because guess what? We have the chicken in a container.
Okay.
Now, I sprinkled the paprika on last. Do you know why?
No, why?
Because it looks like cayenne pepper. And we don't want to do that. I did that one time, and boy, I had a good time with that cayenne pepper chicken.
Oh, my goodness.
But I like beauty.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. Beautiful. Now, if you have a gas stove, in my opinion, gas heats higher than electric. So you might want to do 475, 500 for electric, but we'll see what Joanna oven does. We're going to do it 475. You can always turn it up.
Okay, so we're about to put this in the oven, and we're going to be back with a vegetarian version of chicken. I know you're ready for that, aren't you, Emma?
Okay. She does a good job.
Are you informed about this year's candidates? If not, go to the NC Voter Guide 2020. It's a wonderful tool. And what can you find out? Who are these people on your ballot, and why should you care? How can you vote by mail, and where can you safely vote in person? Don't forget that early voting starts October the 15th through the 31st, and election day is November the 3rd. So let's make a plan. Okay, recipes for social change. We're trying to make sure that your vegetarian friends and families always have something at your table. And so today we're going to do a mock chicken, and it is made with a chicken roll that's made by Worthington, and we just slice it up and then we tear it. So this is the way that I do it. It comes, it's round, it's like a round little roll. And so to give them a texture, because you know I'm all about texture and taste, you just pull it apart like this. And then also I have put poultry seasoning on the top of it. What I have in this bowl is just a wet rub to be able to dip this in just like you would for your regular chicken. And again, this is just flour, egg, and your seasonings of your choice. Again, just to give it that robust flavor. After that, we're going to go into our dry. And so again, you may be able to get a dry batter that's already pre-made, but you can always do it yourself, and that way you can control your sodium. So again, we just have self-rising flour, some cracked pepper, and anything else that you want to, you know, like your secret 24 seasonings like other people have, you can have your own right here. So all we're going to do is we tear, we dip in the wet, we dip in the dry, and then we're ready to fry. Okay, that's it. Again, tear, it's already torn. We dip in the wet, dip in the dry, and we're ready to fry. Okay, wet, dry, and fry. We're going to be ready to fry in a minute. Let's do a couple more of these, get mama started over there. Again, these are some of the meals that we can get done really quickly when we're in the kitchen together. And we know that your vegetarian guests and or family members are really going to love it. Okay, mama, so here we go. Let's get started. Okay, and so she's going to fry this in a half a pan of olive oil, and then we're going to be ready to go. So we will reveal it to you just in a few minutes, because again, it won't take about 5 minutes just to fry everything up. Don't my fingers look great? All registered voters in North Carolina may request an absentee ballot for November 2020 general election. So, to vote by mail in North Carolina in 2020, follow these 5 steps. 1. Request your ballot. 2. Submit your request. 3. complete your ballot. 4. Complete and sign the absentee ballot return envelope. And 5. Return your ballot to your county board of elections. Okay, so our mock chicken is done. Thanks, Mama. Look, what did we do? Wet, dry, fry, and she fried it up. Look at this, you all. It looks wonderful. I think that your vegetarian guests and family members will be delighted. We're about to do another side with my mama. We're about to do potato salad. So, Mama, tell us what we're going to do to build your potato salad, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
We have 5 boiled white potatoes cut in cubes, and we have 2 boiled eggs, and they're chopped up. 1 stalk of celery chopped up, 1 part of red peppers, 1 part of orange peppers, and we have a cup of mayonnaise. I have a cup of radish and cayenne pepper, garlic salt, onion powders, and paprika for coloring.
Okay, so why is this recipe so nice to you as you start building it?
Well, I call this my down-home potato salad because when I make it, I think about my mother and how she would put it together. She would boil the eggs, and I boil my eggs with the peelings on it because I feel like that's the way you keep the nutrition in it. And then I get my eggs and I chop them up.
You mean you boil your potatoes with the peeling on it?
Yeah,
you said you boil the eggs with the peeling. I think that's how we do them. Well, I know what you meant. Okay.
Okay, and then I add my celery and my peppers. And my pickled radish. And then my mayonnaise. And then I start stirring this.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your experience in thinking about the civil rights movement and celebrating the 100th year of women having the right to vote. What has been your experience just around really civic engagement, but beyond that, just personal experiences about why you like to be involved, and some points in your, I guess, your journey that really stick out when you think about the way that the world has become and the advances that have come about because of the Civil Rights Act and women's right to vote?
Well, as you know, I did grow up during the civil rights movement, and I also had experiences during that time, meeting Martin Luther King at my graduation. I shook his hand as he handed me my diploma. And one thing about it, I never forget, my husband liked to take pictures. And on this occasion, he did not take a picture of me getting
that's
my
the
diploma.
one thing he didn't document.
The diploma and shaking the hand of Martin Luther King. And that was a time when I was really inspired about the importance of voting. I had learned about how women couldn't vote, along with in the past, and then also how a hard time we had as blacks. They called us colored back then. When we were colored, Negro, sometimes I wonder what we didn't know what we were supposed to be called.
That's true. So with that in context, would you have ever thought as a teenager shaking Martin Luther King's hand at your graduation that you would shake somebody else's hand? Fast forward, how many years during the...
About over almost 50 years later, I got a chance to shake my Obama hand.
And what was funny about that one, you all, is that, again, my father was there, and he did not get that picture either. And what my funniest part about that was, she was shaking his hand, and he was like, "You can let my hand go. You can let my hand go."
I was mesmerized.
I thought we were going to get taken down by the Secret Service.
I was really mesmerized. I'm getting shake Obama's hand.
But beyond that, what I also remember, again, just making sure that we really, as Americans, really want to hear everything that everyone has to say. Not only were we able to go to some rallies for Martin Luther King, not Martin Luther King, look at that, you know what I mean, for Barack Obama, but also John McCain. And so I think it's really important to have that balanced sense of government and or perspectives when we're thinking about voting, right?
Yes, so that you can make good choices.
That's right, make really good choices. And so now we're just encouraging people to vote. Let me get you a smaller bowl to put that into. We like to make things look pretty in our house, and hopefully all of this potato salad will fit down in that bowl.
Well, if it don't,
We'll put it here.
well, maybe,
Look, I'll hold it for you.
You hold it.
I'll hold it for you.
You hold it while I wreck
There
it
you
out.
go.
And it really bothers me to hear people say, "I'm not going to vote," because I realize how hard a time people had to vote and the sacrifice that was made so that we can vote. And I also feel like that if you don't vote, you are not part of the changes that we would like to see in this world. So I call it, if you want to make changes, be a part of the change that you want to see.
That's great. Okay, so we're finishing that up, and that was another quick side. And so I know you want to garnish that a little bit with some paprika.
Yeah, look
so I
how
pass
pretty
that on
it is.
to you.
See how pretty it is? I like pretty, colorful food.
Yeah,
It
that is.
very-
It's really pretty. Okay, so let's finish
Not
that
only
off.
is it pretty, but
And she likes to use the wooden spoon too. I think that makes her think more of my grandmother as well.
Yeah.
That's that old-fashioned potato salad. That makes it old-fashioned.
You know, I like old stuff.
Yeah, she's an antique person
I'm
too.
an antique person, so this is one of the things I got that I hold on to that I got from my parents' house.
Okay. Well, you all, we're finished with the potato salad that quick. And so let's go to our next side. We'll see you soon. Recipes for social change. We are ready for some more amazing sides. And so today we're about to do a quick pot of pinto beans. What's wonderful about this, you don't have to soak the pinto beans. All you need to do is wash them, sort them, and you're ready to go. So let's just get to it. All you need is 6 cups of water. We're going to start with that in our Instapot. 6 cups of water. And then I have this amazing soup mix. We can't call the name, but it is a beefy onion soup. And it does not have any meat products in it. And again, we like that because if you have vegetarians that are in your family or in your friend group, you can serve this to them and they still get that beefy flavor without actually having animal products in it. So we're going to go ahead and put the beef soup inside the dry soup in, and we'll mix it in just a little bit, even though you really don't have to. In the Instapots and your electric cookers, many times you can just put things straight in there, but I still like to, make sure that my flavors are good. And then I have 2 tablespoons of pinto bean seasoning. Again, I'm all about the flavor. So we got our flavor in, and we're ready to go. And then the next thing we have is our pinto beans. And we're almost done, you all. We're going to go ahead and put our 1 bag or 1 pound of pinto beans in. Ooh, there you go. That's wonderful. We got them in. And that's it. Now we just have to go ahead and put our Instapot lid on and set it for 45 minutes. And we're done. Are you informed about this year's candidates? If not, go to the NC Voter Guide 2020. It's a wonderful tool. And what can you find out? Who are these people on your ballot and why should you care? How can you vote by mail? And where can you safely vote in person? Don't forget that early voting starts October the 15th through the 31st, and Election Day is November the 3rd. So let's make a plan. Today's menu, we have pinto beans and some other wonderful sides. And you can't have pinto beans without having cornbread. Okay, so Aunt Vi, what do you do to build your cornbread?
I almost make my cornbread like you do a cake. Normally, the modern people, they use their cake mixer. I'm going to show you the old-fashioned way, just in case you don't have one, or you might be out somewhere and you might want to do it the old-fashioned way. First thing I do, I put my margarine or butter flavored shortening in the bowl. I put about 1/4 cup of sugar to give the cornbread an accent. Then you kind of whisk this up a little bit, kind of whisk it up to try to make it blend in as much as you can get that sugar mixed with this together. And you beat it, whip it all off here. But you mix it all up so it can blend in together. And you say, oh, yeah, okay, everything is off this bowl.
Okay, so as you're building your cornbread, what are some of the things that you're doing?
Now we're cracking the egg, and we got to put that in there. Now, what were you saying, Joanna?
I was about to ask you, what are you doing to try to help get the vote out?
You see this beautiful shirt I have on. My sister had the same thing on also. I am one of the Western Carolina AARP volunteer members. And as members of the Western Carolina AARP Association, which is nationwide, we encourage more volunteers in this area. We are doing what we can to encourage young and older people to go out and vote. I am, as well as some of my friends and relatives, are volunteering their service to pick people up, to take them to the poll to vote. Those right now you can do early voting and registering and voting at the same time at this moment. So please take advantage of this. You see me whipping this up? We especially we are encouraging our young people that have just came age to vote. Don't take these things lightly. You have an opportunity to make a voice.
You not having a voice or not using your voice is just like voting for whoever that you don't want to be in control. But even more than that, you're really not contributing to your patriotic duty of voting.
I am so proud of your two daughters.
Oh, okay.
They both are going to vote.
Yes, they are.
One is for her first time, and hats off to make each of them girls. I am so proud of them.
Well, actually, it's both of their first time voting in the presidential election.
Okay.
Yes. J. Essence has voted in general primary because she's now 21, but she wasn't old enough to vote in the last presidential election. So, yeah, we're very proud of them, and we're just encouraging everybody to vote generationally. Vote by blocks, no matter what it is. Just make sure that you're making sure that your family members and your friends and whoever is on your neighborhood, on your block, just making sure that you all are very involved.
Now I am pouring the cornmeal in here. Now this is the kind I like because it's the mix, already mixed, a little bit of flour, majority cornmeal in here. And I pour my liquid in here, my milk, and stir it up real good. Whip it up. Now, you know, if you had your cake mixes, this thing would have been done. But guess what? Sometime every now and then you might need to learn how to do things like we did back in the day, like great-great-grandmother did.
That's right. That's right.
Not me, but I'm just showing you how they did it back then in the day. But this doesn't happen too many times with me either.
No, now, exactly. You like to do things fast.
Put a little bit of vegetable oil in here, but this is olive oil, which is better. For some odd reason, it gives it a smooth, very smooth taste, and it kind of, in my opinion, make it a little lighter.
Okay.
I'm putting the rest of this milk in here, because you know what, when you have, now this is key, if you have real thick cornbread mix, you can have some thick, good tasting cornbread.
Okay.
So the more, don't make it real runny, But you know, the more it looks real blended and less thick, it's gonna turn out real good in your pan. See,
Yeah.
I didn't even have to use all that. But
exactly.
you always get more than you want,
Mm-hmm.
and then pour the rest back in your bag or wherever you put your meal. Now we're gonna get the pan.
And we pre-warmed the pan up with some oil in it, right?
Yes.
So we have our black skillet here because, again, this is one of the things that
Back in the day.
we use. And so we're going to...
No, I'm gonna put.
No, I know you're going
Okay.
to pour it in. I'm not pouring it.
Okay.
I am just... Look, I'm wishing it around so that it's even as we're putting
Okay.
it down. And so now it's hot. It was warm. That's why I was holding it with the mitt.
Hold this for me, dear. Thank you, darling. Now we're gonna pour this in here. I like to pour it in the middle, if I can. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I used to love to see my mother do this. Yeah, you know, after you do this, she would get the spoon and put this oil in the middle of the cornbread. You know why she did that? Because you know the center of the cornbread tend to crack on you. Have you noticed that?
No, I've never noticed that.
With the oil in here.
Well, maybe mine hasn't cracked because I did the same thing.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I was trying to do it.
you do that and you spread it all around and you get the edge because then it won't be so crispy and burny. Although you put it in the middle because this is where you'll get your crack and it will blend better in your cornbread. We are done. You're gonna bake this with 450. You're good to go in about 30 minutes, maybe. But you can tell when the cornbread is done, it will separate from the edge of the pan.
Okay.
But it'd be good to get a little fork, a knife or something to stick in the middle. When it comes out dry, it's done. You don't want it too dry.
That's right.
When it comes out with oil on it, it's good.
Good. Okay, so we're going to get this in the oven and we're going to finish up our meal. All registered voters in North Carolina may request an absentee ballot for November 2020 general election. So, to vote by mail in North Carolina in 2020, follow these 5 steps. 1. Request your ballot. 2. Submit your request. 3. Complete your ballot. 4. Complete and sign the absentee ballot return envelope. And 5. Return your ballot to your county board of elections. Okay, so now our cornbread is fresh out of the oven. How does it look? Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. Let's cut into it. And again, this is one of those black skillets. My mother loves the black skillet because again, it reminds you of doing things the old way or the traditional way. And so it has a wonderful taste when it comes out of the seasoned skillets. And so here's
And you know
your
what?
spatula.
We always love the edge.
Oh, and look
We
at
will
the steam.
fight over the edge. Isn't that
Yes,
beautiful?
it is.
Oh, almost look like a cake, but it's not. It's delicious.
It is. Okay, you all.
Cornbread.
It's ready for some pinto beans. Okay, so we're back with our pinto beans, and this is going to be amazing, you all. It only took about 45 minutes for these things to get done. You didn't have to soak them overnight. You didn't have to soak them, boil them up hot and do it. You just had to put them straight into this Instapot. And so let's see what we have here. Oh, my goodness. I wish you had that smell-o-vision again. It smells so good in here. Oh, these pinto beans are wonderful. Look at that. Let's plate those up. The juice is just in between. It's not too thick or too runny, because sometimes you can add a little cornstarch or a little flour to it if you like the more of a gravy type with your pinto beans. But these are right there in between so that if you want to use them for refried beans or for chili, you can do that as well. But this is another one of those quick recipes that are wonderful sides. And there we go. I think your guests will enjoy it. Can you believe our meal is done? We're sitting down, we're ready to eat, but we would like to also just talk a little bit more about what's important to everybody when we're going to the polls this year. So, Mama, what is some of the most important issues that you're thinking about as you get ready to vote?
One of the things that issues is making sure people get out and vote because of our time. This is a very important election because there's a lot of changes that's going on in America, and I feel like if you want to have a voice in the changes that's going on, you need to be part of the change. In fact, I went out and bought me a shirt that said, "You can be the change you want to see."
Oh, that's great. And what about you, Aunt Vi?
Well, the AARP organization in Western Carolina, our greatest concern in listening to our senior citizens as well as people not senior citizens, the affordable health care challenges that we're dealing with. We have so many people. I sold insurance for 34 years, and the saddest thing I had to tell people, hated to tell people, was you were declined because of pre-existing conditions. And we need to keep the affordable care program going for people who have pre-existed. And this is not a racial thing. This is a human thing that we need to take care of. And the other issue I'm very concerned about is the prices of the drugs prices going up. A lot of people are having to make a decision whether to get the insulin or food. That's a sad, sad decision to try to make when we're in one of the greatest countries in the world and our people are struggling to pay for the medication and food that run hand in hand. These are serious issues for our country, especially our people in the Western Carolina area. And this is so serious. I am encouraging everybody to go out and vote for your concern and your needs.
I also wanted to talk about one of the other issues I had, and that's about the coronavirus and how it's affecting a lot of people, not only the seniors, but families as a whole, and especially since I was a teacher, how the children are not able to go to school and learn in an environment where they can have one-on-one with the teachers, and then how a lot of people don't have jobs and they don't have the money to buy food, take care of the necessities. And when I look at seeing how many, I work at the food pantry at our church, and people coming over there getting food that never thought they would have to come to food pantry to get food because they don't have the food for their families to eat. And then you hear about people saying they don't know whether they're going to get evicted or not because they can't pay their rent. So that's one of my things that's bothering me that's going on, and how many people are dying. I feel like unnecessarily because they tell us, wear your mask, practice social distancing, wash your hands. So I feel like if more people did that, more lives would be saved. So that's another issue I have too.
But we got to realize, although you may not feel as if not wearing a mask is a personal thing for you, you got to realize that that's personal for you. But when you look at so many doctors and nurses, when you realize, like a lot of people, when it hit them and get put in a hospital, if you only had that mask on, you would be endangering somebody's husband or wife who is taking care of you because of your personal issue belief. But when you get sick, you putting and endangering good doctors and nurses and housekeeping people who wore masks. But now they got to take care of you because of your personal belief that you don't have to wear a mask. But we need to consider not only ourselves, but our fellow man, our neighbor, who the first alert people who are putting their lives on the line, the police officers who are putting their lives on the line to save us and protect us. And even if you feel that you have your personal right, just do the right thing and help your fellow man. Put the mask on when you go home or whatever, take it off.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for your perspectives, and thank you all for joining us for Historic Recipes for Social Change. And so no matter what the issue is that you really go to the polls about, whether it's the economy, whether it's healthcare, whether it is the environment, all of these things are really important. But most of all, it's our patriotic duty to vote.
Amen.
So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being change agents. We hope you have enjoyed Historic Recipes for Social Change. We encourage you to stay engaged with AARP, and if you are interested in the recipes we have shared, visit ABIPA at www.abipa.org and go to Our Recipes. Thank you to AARP of North Carolina Western Region, ABIPA, and Pro 16 Productions, and the viewers like you. Please like and share Historic Recipes for Social Change.